Hey guys, it's Drea. Today I have for you a product regrets video. You know, I bring you a lot of what you should buy, my favorites, things that are awesome type videos, but I think it's really important to talk about stuff that didn't work, and I'll go through all the reasons. You know, some of this might work for you, everybody is a little bit different, but I'm gonna go through why these things did not work for me. If they work for you, believe me, I'm truly happy for you because that means you didn't waste your money like I did, and you know you can use it up and all that, but I can't. I cannot continue to use these products. So let's just go through everything and I'll tell you why I hate it. For some of these products, I think there will be instances where it will work on people, and I'll kind of go through that. But this first product, I don't see how this is going to work on anybody. This is the Paula's Choice Resist Anti-Aging Serum Foundation, and it says right on it, matte. So of course, being super oily skin, I saw the word matte and I was like, yes, let's try it. I love testing foundation. I really like Paula's Choice as a brand. Like pretty much all my skincare routine is from Paula's Choice. But this foundation, when I got it, like I was so excited to use it. When I got it, I tried it. The first day I tried it, it was the most god-awful mess on my face that I think I've ever experienced with a foundation. I think this is truly the worst foundation I've ever tried. So it's got beautiful packaging. It's got a pump, of course. It's Paula's Choice. They're big on that. Mine is in the shade level 2. It's a very kind of serum-y texture, like it says. It's called serum, but it's also called matte. So when I use this, it never really fully dried down on my face. It completely went into all my pores, which never happens. Like it looked like little dots in certain spots on my face where it like settled into pores, and then it creased all over. Halfway through the day, it was just like rubbing off my nose. It was just smearing around here. It looked so bad. I think I remember Snapchatting about it. This was a long time ago. It was like a month and a half ago. And I was just like, no. I put it away immediately. I was like, I am never wearing that again. That was the worst foundation experience ever. And whenever I try a new foundation, I always use it with a primer and a powder that I know work, like my holy grail, because I don't want any weird variables, right? So anyway, I put it away. I wanted to do this video for you guys, and I was like, okay, I should try that again just to make sure, like let's just make sure that it was as bad as I thought it was. And so I tried it again a couple days ago, and yeah, it's just as bad. Like it just settles into pores. It grabs onto, like if you have any peach fuzz, it just grabs onto it, which I assume if you were dry skin and you wanted to try this, although I don't know why you would because it says matte right on it, but even if you did because you saw the word serum or something, it would probably grab onto your dry patches. So I say just stay away from this until they reformulate or something. Rare miss for Paula's Choice because I think their products are amazing. The next thing is a brand that created a big splash when it came to Sephora, the brand Pretty Vulgar. They released a whole bunch of stuff all at once onto Sephora's website. The big thing with them is they have gorgeous packaging. Like it's very cute, it's very vintage, it's got a real throwback feel to it. I think it appeals to a lot of people, including me. I love the lipstick, I'll say that. The lipstick is gorgeous, it's a great formula. But I also wanted to try this mascara. This is called the Feathers in the shade The Raven. There's only one shade, but I guess they're trying to be cute. Anyway, the packaging on this is so stunning. Like, it's just gorgeous. It's a bird cage, it's got a little bird on top. It's very heavy. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this. It'll be a decorative piece. Like it'll be a $30 decorative piece. There's lots of mascara that is great from the drugstore. Very cheap, very great. Then there's lots of mascara that's great from high end, and it's like, okay, this is expensive, but it's worth it. But this one, no. There are way better $30 mascaras you can get than this. So here's my complaint. So first of all, it comes out, it's got this little kind of curve shape. It always gets way too much product on the end, and sometimes it brings out product here. It gets real messy, especially when you put it back in. But the main complaint I have about this is that it makes my eyes dry and dusty, and they feel itchy the entire time I'm wearing it. So that could just be me, but I know it's definitely, like, I've never got that in my life from a mascara. So that's why I thought it was so weird. Like, I don't normally get reactions to mascara ever, but this one, I get dry and dusty eyes all day long, and it's horrible. So I don't know if that's just me, but I would just avoid this because even the results you get from it are not as good as a lot of other mascaras. I really like the brand Makeup Revolution. I think they do some really great things for people who are on a budget, and it's fun to be able to buy, you know, stuff at a cheaper price because sometimes you can buy a lot more of it. But anyway, I really like a lot of their highlighters. One that I really do like is the Vivid Baked highlighter. I have two different shades that are kind of like more champagne or kind of moonlight feeling, and I think they're gorgeous. I also picked this one up, this one in Rose Gold Lights, because I thought rose gold, oh my gosh, like that's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like a beautiful kind of cheek topper. And this could just be a case of it just doesn't work on my skin tone. But this as a highlight, I don't see how even like deeper skin tones would want this kind of burnt kind of apricot peach shade as a highlight. I don't know. I don't really see a lot of glow from it. I feel like this just changes the tone of so much. Like it changes the tone of your foundation, of your blush, like whatever you're gonna put it on top of, it just changes the tone of it. I tried using this as a blush and it just doesn't work for my skin tone even just by itself. So like I said, it could just be a skin tone thing, but I just don't like this. I think it's a very weird color for a highlight, and I think it's even a kind of weird color for a blush. This may be the worst fail I've had all year. This is a brand called Joe Fresh. It's here in Canada. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but they have makeup, they have clothing, like it's a big brand here in Canada. This is their matte primer. It says right on it, oil absorbing, clear, shine free, anti-sebum. This was so bad, so god awful. So whenever I'm doing a mattifying primer, I just put it in my really oily areas, which is basically like the T-zone, right? But it kind of extends a little bit on my cheeks, chin, but definitely my forehead here. So I put this on as my primer, went about my business, regular foundation. I think I was wearing like my Smashbox, which is my holy grail foundation. And this primer did the weirdest thing where it oxidized what was on top of it. But because I had just put it in that one area, it looked like I had like a rainbow on my forehead. So literally like this was like more orange, and then this part was lighter. So it looked like a semicircle in the middle of my forehead. It was so bad, and it happened almost instantly. Like I wasn't even done doing my makeup by the time I noticed it. So at least luckily I was able to wipe it off and redo my forehead. It didn't do it anywhere else on my face, but it definitely did it there, and I was just like, no, there's no way I'm ever putting that on again. It was horrible. Maybelline has just kind of released a whole bunch of new products in their Fit Me line. One of the products I was most interested to try was the Loose Finishing Powder. Now, I saw these in the store and they have a lot of different shades in their shade range. I think probably about 6, which for a powder is quite a few, right? Like you don't normally see more than a couple when it comes to powder. So I was looking at them, and I normally would pick up a color like light medium, and I picked up, I picked it up in my hand, I looked at it, I thought, this is really, really dark. So I went to the next one down, which is this shade Light, and I just looked at it through the kind of plexiglass here and thought, well, I guess that would be okay. But once I got home and I looked at it, you guys, does this look light to you? This is so deep. Like this is tan, this is tan, this is a tan powder. I have been using it at least this summertime, and I can kind of get away with it. And I do like it as a powder. It's perfectly great as an actual powder. I would never put it under my eyes though, because it's way too dark. But just the rest of my face, it looks great right now, being the summertime and me being tan. I don't know how anybody lighter than my skin tone could get away with using this. And I think there was only one other shade down from this, which I don't even know what that looks like, but if you're fair, there is no way you can use these powders. Like they are way too dark. So I don't know if this was just a mistake in manufacturing, because I cannot believe that this is the shade Light. Like it just does not compute. I've been kind of trying to make it my mission to find great primers from the drugstore, because being so oily skin, like you guys are probably tired of hearing me say how oily I am all the time, but it's true. It's a really hard thing to work with, is trying to find primers, powders, and foundations that will not melt off your face and make you look super greasy throughout the day. And so I always gravitate kind of toward more the high-end primers and stuff like that. I've never really found drugstore primers that really work well for controlling oil, and I still really haven't. So if you have any suggestions, let me know down below. But I wanted to try this one from NYX. This is the NYX Shine Killer primer. They've got a pore filling one, they've got this one that specifically says it's for shine, and then I know they have like their Angel Veil and that kind of thing. This is the only primer I've ever tried from them, and really it's just like a clear primer. When I first, you know, squirted it out of the bottle, I was like, I don't know, like in my experience these kind of clear primers really don't do anything for stopping your oil. They really are just kind of more pore filling, and that's pretty much the experience I had with this. Just, it really didn't do anything. It didn't make my oil any more controlled at all through the day, like not even a little bit. It's not like it controlled it for a while and then stopped. It just didn't really make any difference at all on my face. So, you know, NYX is not the cheapest drugstore brand. In fact, it's pretty high up there, and I don't even think this is a full ounce. This is 0.67 fluid ounces. Most primers you buy, you're gonna get a full ounce. I think I paid, here in Canada, I wanna say it was something like $17, $18, something like that. Basically, when you factor in the difference in the amount you're getting, you're almost paying a high-end price for this anyway. So NYX is not that cheap when you think about it in terms of like what you're getting sometimes. And I'm super disappointed I spent my money on this because it was not worth it. I have a feeling this might be controversial. I have a feeling there's gonna be people out there who think I'm insane for saying this is a fail. But on me, this does not work at all. This is the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. I have seen people rave about this. Emily Noel, Kristen Game, like I've heard people say this is amazing, and that's why I wanted to buy it. This is a $60 US powder, which is astronomical, but I figured if it works as well as everybody says it does, then it will look fantastic. It'll be worth it. So I purchased it. I was very excited to use it. It does take a little bit of playing with to figure out how much powder you want to use. And the first time I used it, I definitely overused it. It was definitely user error on my part. There's a whole bunch of like weird flashback from it. But I didn't bake with it, I just used it heavily. So after that I figured, okay, you need the lightest amount with this. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use the lightest amount ever. And that's what I've been doing. And yes, it does make my under eye look really, really smooth and kind of youthful, and it definitely fills in lines a little bit. But what it does on me is I always feel like it slightly oxidizes whatever makeup it's on top of. And I also feel, well, I don't feel, this definitely happens. Whenever I use it, if I get any amount of product like over in this area at all, like accidentally or whatever, when I go over to put my highlight here, it will not stick. It will not stick. It's the weirdest thing. Nothing can stick on top of this. So you'll have your eye area where you put it on, and then it'll just look like a circle. And let's say I put my highlight kind of right here, it won't attach to this part. So you'll just see this line of demarcation and then highlight and then blank. And it looks so weird. I hope that I explained that well enough, because it is a super, super weird phenomenon that this powder does. I still will keep this and use it, but I'm only gonna use it on days where I'm just doing like very natural makeup and I'm just going out in the world, like no camera makeup, that kind of thing. But seriously, if you put on highlight or anything, it will not stick. It won't work. And if you have a different experience with this, let me know, because I do feel like I'm out on an island with this opinion, but I just know the times, like I've tried over and over to give this a chance and it just doesn't work for me. Here's another NYX product. This is the NYX Faux Whites eyeliner. This is in the shade White Smoke. The idea of this line of liners from them is that they're all kind of pastel, but they're meant to go in your waterline to kind of brighten your eyes. But not just be stark white, have a little bit of color to them. So I saw this, I saw lavender, oh that's really cool, like it's a really nice color, I really like it. This just does not go in the waterline. It won't stick to my my waterline at all, like it won't even go on. It's not that it rubs off, it just won't even go on. So I was super disappointed because I was excited for this product, so that was a big bummer. And next thing that I was also really excited for, that it's just kind of weird. This is from Tarte. It's the Clay Pot Amazonian Clay Waterproof Liner in the shade Crystal Ball. So I have the shade Rose Gold in this lineup, and it's beautiful, and I use it as a cream eyeshadow, and it looks gorgeous on the eyes. So I figured I could do the same thing with this, and I bought it for that purpose, and I tried wearing it on my eye, and it just does this weird thing, and I hope you can kind of see it where it's got this kind of duochrome effect, but instead of being a color, it kind of just goes gray and black and like a bruise. It looks very weird in the light, the way it shines. I think it's coming across, but it's kind of subtle, but in real life, like it looks bizarre. So I figured, okay, that's not even the way it's supposed to be used, so I can't really knock it for that. Let me try to actually use this as an eyeliner. So I tried using it as an eyeliner, doing a wing. It just kind of, the brush slides back through it and creates a line through it. It just doesn't work. If you're gonna do a liner, you have to make it opaque. It can't be see-through. That makes absolutely no sense. So I did get this on a deep discount, which I'm happy that I didn't waste too much money. I do love the rose gold one though, so I don't know. It might just be this color, but it's just super weird. That's me wiping it off my hand from a makeup wipe, and I think you can kind of see the black better when I do that against the white instead of against my hand. It just looks so black and like dark, and it makes no sense that that's actually supposed to be purple. So I purchased the CoverGirl Outlast All Day Powder, the pressed powder. This is in the shade Light Medium, which normally will be a really, really good shade on me. This powder, it's kind of too dark for being light medium anyway, but it's also the kind of powder that definitely oxidizes. Like whenever I put this on my face, it definitely changes the shade of my foundation. It makes me look orange. It looks weird. The other complaint I have about this is it has an insane amount of powderiness to it. I think you could see that. Like that's just lightly dipping my brush in it, and then there's just a ton of powder in here. I've only used this less than 10 times, and it looks like I've been beating it up for a long time, but that's really because it's just so soft and so much kicks back off of it. But really the oxidation is my main complaint with this. If this was powdery and it worked and it was a great mattifying powder and it was amazing, I wouldn't care about that. But the fact that it doesn't really control my oil, and it's supposed to be Outlast all day, like it's supposed to be for not having to reapply. You definitely, like I definitely have to reapply a couple times throughout the day to kind of make everything matte on my face, but also it's just layering and layering powder that is oxidizing, and it just looks gross. So last thing is this. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer. When this came out, I was all over it. I was like, oh yeah, give me that. I bought it immediately. I love trying concealer because I have dark circles, like very dark circles, and I like the Infallible lineup. I like the Pro Glow stuff. I like the Pro Matte stuff. So I thought this will be great to try. So it's got one of those flat paddle brushes, which I really like, really like that. I have heard people say that they like this, and I just don't get, I don't get it. I don't know how anybody could really think that this covers well at all. Like it's very sheer. It is lightweight, so it feels good under the eye, and it has a nice soft kind of finish where it feels very nice and it doesn't crease, but it has no coverage. Like you can see right through it, and especially under the eye where you're like, okay, I really need to cover something up, it doesn't cover anything up. So unless you're the kind of person who you know, you're normally fine unless you just don't get a good night's sleep and then you have a little darkness, then yeah, it might work well for you. If you just want it for highlighting, yeah, it's probably gonna look great because it's gonna be very lightweight and not cakey. But for actual concealer to cover something up, this really doesn't cover anything up at all. So that's it for my product regrets this time around. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. And again, I'm sorry if I knocked something that's a favorite, but like I said, I just explained why these didn't work for me. And I could be crazy with a couple of them. Let me know if you've had completely different experiences. But that's about it for now. Definitely subscribe if you're new here. I'd love to see you around for my future videos. Give this a thumbs up if you liked it, or if you hated it and regretted watching it, then I guess you could give it a thumbs down. That's it for today. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope you're loving yourself and treating yourself kindly, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.